to my Facebook. It says live, connecting live stream. There
Okay,
we
me
go.
too.
Okay,
Ready?
we ready? 5,
Yep.
4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Hey.
Actually, I was already live. Okay, thank you guys for hanging on there for just a little bit while we got some technical difficulties. And I want to say hi. This is awesome. So we have Charlotte. Welcome, Charlotte. And hey, Darlene. Hey, Darlene. Hola, Charlotte. All right. So I have on my phone, I figured out how to do that. I thank y'all so much. So we're going to start over just a little bit. I want to welcome my very, very special guest today, all the way from London, England. She's still in London. She has not magicked herself here to the US. So I want to welcome to my Feel Good Sales podcast today the incredible Laura Chaddington. She is co-founder of Offer Accelerator Live with over 20 years of experience in marketing and tech, working in industry giants like Oracle, Facebook, and IBM. Laura now dedicates her expertise to helping coaches and entrepreneurs just like you simplify the marketing and tech overwhelm. She's here today to share her insights on the connection between you, your offer, and your people. Laura identifies with every letter, just like me, of the Feel Good Sales process. So you know this conversation is going to be packed with value. So without further ado, Laura, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for that lovely introduction. And yes, I do. I wondered what you were going to say when I identify with what, but yes, I identify with every letter in the sequence. And it's very good to be here. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. So let's talk about the letters. Let's talk about the letters quickly. So I do have feel good. Okay. And the feel good stands for, I haven't gotten it memorized yet. I almost have it memorized, but
Okay. I'm
find
not
and
going to test
align.
it.
I know,
Yeah.
right? I don't want to test it. F, find and align. All right.
Okay.
And I do modify these. Okay. So the more I talk to people and the more I work with clients, I tweak them a little bit. So finding and
Nice.
aligning, yes, is finding your people, finding
Mm,
out what you offer, actually putting that into solid words,
mm,
and then aligning with the clients who need what you offer. That's a key
mm,
part of it. Do you want to add
mm.
anything to that find and align
Yeah. Oh,
part?
okay. I thought you were gonna drill me on the letters. No.
I
Yeah,
know.
I
I
mean, I
think if
think
I drilled you on all the letters, we may forget and go back. So yeah, let's just go one by one.
Yeah. Sorry. Yes. Paying attention, Miss. Finding and aligning. Yeah. Well, I think, finding and aligning the people that I actually think as an entrepreneur, I come from the corporate world and everyone has their own experience and comes from different perspectives. And I think if you are an entrepreneur, you have some level of passion of something in some way. And I think the kind of job of an entrepreneur is to find out, try and cross those two things, isn't it? What you like doing, what you're passionate about, and what others find valuable, right? And that's kind of loosely your offer in a way, isn't it? It's kind of loosely your offer. And I think if you can, and I think sometimes, or many people kind of come into entrepreneurship and they're kind of like, I've got this, I'm going to be a blah coach, or I'm going to do this business. And they're so enthusiastic, or like me, they might have even come from like years of experience where you're like, I know exactly what I'm talking about because I've been doing it on a big scale, blah. But actually, one of the things you really need to learn to do at any point in your entrepreneurial journey and any offer that you're running is listen to what people actually want, right? And
Yes.
aligning, I guess that's your aligning with what people want. And many times what you think they want is normally what they need, and actually what they want and what they're going to invest in is going to be what they want. So there are lots of things we might need, but we're going to invest in what we want. And the only way you connect those two things, and I think when we have offers that people invest in, we want to deliver both of those things to them. But you really need to listen and your words, align yourself with the people that you're serving and listen to what their challenges are and what they actually want. So I think that's probably maybe the most important thing when it comes to creating and designing an offer, is knowing what people want and sort of aligning how you can help them with that.
I agree. You have to clarify your offer, and the way to clarify that is to actually listen and respond to your clients. It's like it's kind of hard when you're just beginning, because like you said, you have all these ideas and you're like, I do this and this and this. And it does take a while. Last week when I was interviewing CT, she said, when I first started, I went all in for the sales. And that's good. Okay. Yes, we're in it. We are in it for the money. Okay. But she
Of
said,
course.
what I've learned over the years is to take a step back and really listen to my clients and really listen to what they need, and tweak my offer, really have, because you're the experts, you know this, but really listen to what your clients need, and then go out and find those people as well. It's like, who could benefit from my offer? So let's see, let's go on to our
And I
second.
just want to just to add just to add another point to that just quickly, is if you took away all the, my background was originally tech, and I seem to have spent a lifetime, and I know you're tech too. It's like, if you took away all the tech and you took away all the online and you took all that away, in the end, you need an offer and you need people, and you put those two things together, you've got business, right? It's as simple as
Exactly.
that,
It
really.
really is.
And there's
It
all these like
really
strategies and
is.
tools and systemize and automate, blah, blah, you need YouTube. You need something people find desirable, because you can service them in a way, and you need people. And if you can put those two things together, you're good, right?
Yeah, it is. We need the people. You just need people, and you need an offer. You need something for them to buy, and you need people. So yes, that's really that's the bottom line of it. That's it. So let's see, Charlotta, she has just been busy in the comments. Thank you so much. Um, create and design an offer to clarify your offer by listening and responding to your clients. Yes. How do you find out? She says. So, how you find out is when you're speaking to people, okay, when you're talking to your clients, really listen to what they say, because sometimes you can miss it because you're so busy thinking about what I have to offer them. You're not listening to what they actually want from you. Sometimes we miss that when we're talking to clients. So really listen when you're engaging with someone. They'll call you or they'll be speaking to you and they'll say, I need this. And sometimes it's just a slight tweak. It's just a slight tweak. Hey, Joe.
I think as well, again, if we're sort of keeping things simple, right? And again, sort of principles of engagement, and the best way to find out what people are, human beings are predictable in the way we all have the same stuff, the same stress, the same overwhelm, the same stuff, whatever different ways, it's pretty much the same. One of the ways you find out what people want, and if you asked anyone, are you busy? I don't think I've spoken to anyone in the last 20 years who hasn't told me, yeah, I'm really busy. And everyone's busy. Everyone's like got so much going on. So it's not a case of offering something because they're free now, because no one's free now, right? It needs to be a priority, right? So you have to think, so how do I make what I've got a priority to the people, my audience? So let's assume that you found the right people, right? They're breathing, they're human, and they're the right people. And one of the best ways to find something that is going to be their biggest priority and the thing they want, not necessarily what they need, is to ask a question, maybe not straight off, because sometimes you need to get some rapport first, but like, what is your biggest challenge right now? You hear it all the time, don't you? But actually, what are you challenged with? How's it going? What's happening? What's your biggest challenge? They're going to tell you what is on their mind, because they're human. I've just spent the last weekend traveling around trying to blah, 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 trying to find the answer to this, or I've got this challenge where I can't do this, or I got really bad backache, or I can't solve my web stuff, and it's taking me hours in my day. I was literally lost 6 days because I've been trying to work out. That's their biggest challenge. So if you're like, hey, I can help you with that, they're going to be like, thank you. That is exactly what I need. Right?
Yes,
But
it is.
and that's going to be a priority for them. So they're going to want to solve that problem right now because it's right front of mind for them. So if you ask a simple question like that, what's your biggest challenge? And you do it in various different ways, that's where you're going to get the attention and, be able to start building that connection, that rapport. And then if you've got the answer to that biggest challenge, you're good, right?
Yeah.
Again, it's like offer, people, biggest challenge, awesome.
Yes, exactly. Charlotte says, I can help you. Yes, I can help you. But like what we discussed, what I discussed on I think it was We Meet Wednesday anyway. So like when you have a post, when someone posts on Facebook or you see a question and you can answer it, do not automatically respond with, I can help. Okay. That person wants to be engaged. They need questions. We talked about it last week, I guess, with CT. It's a conversation. It takes a little bit longer, but you have to trust that they want that conversation, that they have an issue. And if you just automatically step up and say, I can help with that, you're going to completely shut them down.
I always think, and I say this with my partner, we're always keen to help for lots of reasons. We want to help, we can help, and also we want to make money and all of that stuff. And I always say to it, it's like in the street, it's like meeting people in the street, right? We don't know each other.
Yeah.
So if I say, hey, I've run out of water and I've got some, maybe that's not a good example, but if I'm like, I'm looking for a tech person to help me with my business, and you walk up and you're like, I can help do this, you're kind of like, whoa, hold on a minute, who are you?
Who are you? Yeah.
I don't know, right? Yeah. And you have to, and it's, I always think of it like you're in real face-to-face interaction. You've got to, you don't walk up to people. I mean, there's that first date analogy that people use, but actually, assuming not everyone's on their first date, but in real life, you don't walk up to people and tell them what to do. You're like, hey, what do you do? How's it going? Oh, tell me a bit more about that. What's your biggest challenge with that? What have you tried before? How have you tried to solve that?
Yeah.
And then you ask them a question. By that time, they're like, yes, this is, I've been doing this, I've been trying this. And then you'll say, hey, would you like to know a little bit how we solve that for our clients? They're like, yes, please.
Yes.
Right?
Or invite them to a chat or something.
To talk about our offer.
Yes,
right.
Exactly. We need to create a rapport. We need to create a connection with that fellow human being before we jump on them, or we don't, that's a wrong word, but
I
like
know.
before we start, before we tell them how
Making our offer.
exactly, yeah,
Right.
yes,
Before we make our offer, we
yeah,
want to, and I also think another thing I always say is we want to get some rapport. We want to interact with them so that they can find more about us. But we also want to find out if we want to work with them too, right?
yeah, yes,
I
yeah,
always think I want to find, not only do I want to, of course I want people to invest in the offers that we have, of course I do, but also I want to, before they do, I just want to make sure that it's the right fit for them and it's the right fit for us, because sometimes it can be really time consuming where you have a mismatch, can't it? And you're just like pulling your hair out trying to service a customer, but actually maybe you shouldn't have taken on that business. You wouldn't know unless you had some prior dialogue beforehand, kind of thing.
I absolutely agree. Yes. And that does happen often. And then, I do have that twinge of, oh my goodness, I lost a potential client or something. It's like, no, what you lost was a headache.
Yeah.
You lost someone who was not someone who is your ideal client. And I'm trying to steer away from that word, but I mean, it
I
just
do as well. Yeah.
encompasses so much. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's go on to the
Go
next
on.
letter. And I don't think we're going to have time to cover all the letters because
Okay.
the podcast is only supposed to be about 25 to 30 minutes long.
Okay.
I think we can go a little bit over, but the second one
You're
is
in charge.
the
I'm
second
just
one
following you. Yeah.
is establish and build. Okay, so you establish your online presence, you establish your website, you build your website, you build out your Facebook profiles. You find, so in that first step is you find your people, you find who can benefit from your product, your service, your offer. Okay, and then you find where they are. All right. And it's kind of my argument that you can find your clients anywhere on any platform you're on, but that's a whole nother discussion. But pick, and I know that you guys have heard this said before, but it's so true. Don't stress yourself out. Pick one platform, okay, in the beginning, get to know that, find people there, connect with people. How do you feel about that, Laura? About establishing and building one platform at a time? What are your thoughts on that?
So I think that I would, I can agree and disagree with that statement, depending on how I'm feeling. I think at the end of the day, you want to minimize the resistance that you have internally to anything if you want to take a lot of action, right?
I love
So
that.
for me, the fastest way I can get content anywhere on the internet is via video, because I've spent years public speaking and training and blah, and I can't even write in proper sentences anymore because I've done, So for me, going on YouTube or doing lives like this, I can literally do in my sleep. And now I understand that there are lots of people, and YouTube especially now at the moment, everyone's like, you got to be on YouTube. It's like the new, everything is YouTube, blah, 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 blah. But for some people, the idea of getting on video is like super painful. And so they'll spend half their day building up to go on that video. So I'd say, don't use it. I'd say use what is easy for you to use and don't worry about it so much. And actually, if there is a business reason, like for instance, I'll give you a good recent example of this. So I'm like YouTube and LinkedIn historically, because that's what I've used in business, and Facebook as well now. Instagram I used as a personal, I shoved loads of photos on it, haven't really used it recently. And in fact, my daughter said to me when I was like, oh, I've got to use Insta, she was like, don't call it Insta, Mum. call it Instagram. You're not cool enough to call it in, and I'm just like, oh gosh, I don't even know the etiquette, but the people that I'm communicating to in a specific business strategy, I need to do it on Instagram because that's where they are.
Mm-hmm.
So I've had to become Instagram cool. I say that with a tongue in cheek because obviously, according to my teenage daughter, I'm not. But I think you also have to go where people are, an easiest way to connect with them as well. So I kind of think do whatever has least resistance.
Mm-hmm.
Don't worry about anything too much. Work out where people are and go and connect with them. And I think there is more value in thinking about the people than there is about, are they the right people? If they're in that group, what position are they in their business or their lives? And can I serve? Are they the people I want to serve? Or do I need to go for a more sophisticated audience? Or do I need to go for an audience that isn't, like in what we do, we've got like people, startup businesses. What kind of groups are they going to be in? Yeah, they could be in Facebook, but what kind of groups in Facebook would they be in? Compared with someone who's doing 6 or 7 figures, they're going to be in a different Facebook group, right? So I think I wouldn't get hung up about it. And I definitely wouldn't use something that I had huge resistance to. And I'd be looking where the audience are, and I'd test everything, track and test everything. That would be my
Definitely track and test everything. Now, Charlotta says that she uses Reels on Facebook and she transfers it to LinkedIn. So she said she's very comfortable with this process now, and it's easy. And
yeah.
so that's what you'll find. And that's one of the things in my offer, in my Feel Good Sales offer, is that we'll get on a platform. Look, I have a bruise. Sorry, just got distracted.
Okay.
We'll get on a platform and I will help you set it up. We'll help you set it up. And so you can get used to it if you're not on any platform, or if you want to add a new one, because sometimes the tech messes people up. Okay. They're so confused about, like, okay, where do I go from here? Like going live. When I first started, I didn't know what a stream key or a live URL meant. And I'm like, and just like in the beginning here, we noticed that Laura was live streaming to her profile instead of to her group. So we calmly stopped and we fixed the issue. But it's something that I'm comfortable with now. And just like Charlotta said, she's comfortable now with doing the reels and then transferring them to Facebook. But in the beginning, you're not comfortable. And that's going to be the situation with everything. It's our brain resisting that change, just so many things. But just know it does get easier.
Easy. Yeah.
Yes, I
And
promise.
that's where you're like, pick a platform is really important, right? So if you're at that stage, pick a platform and get used to that and get that process efficiently running so that you're not spending all your time thinking, what content do I post? Get some process in place that can do that. And when you're, and you and I are both technically trained. So I never have an issue. I'm like, I'll just sort it out, blah, 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 blah. But most people, it's a huge barrier for them to do business. And in the end, I think, people like you, Michelle, who have like solutions to tech, you can just get it. I'd like, don't waste 6 months of your life trying to work out stream keys and blah, 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 all of that stuff, right? Just get someone else to do it. It will save you huge amounts of money, right?
It will. It'll save you huge amounts of money and time. Get someone else to do it, or get someone else to teach you how to do it, or get it set up. So there's a couple of different options there, depending on if you're a, do it yourselfer, or if you like just done for you. But there are solutions, and it won't take as long if you find someone. When you find someone who knows how to do it, it definitely does not take as long as you think. to get these things set up, you know. Okay, so the next letter is, let's see, engage and excite. All right. And
Mm.
I have gone back and forth about this one to keep the name, but I mentioned this to someone the other day. I was going through the letters and she goes, that's my favorite one. I love that. And I'm like, well, okay, then I'll keep it. See, I am
Mhm.
listening to my clients and I'm like,
Mm.
okay, then. All right. And I love engaging. Okay. I guess
Mm.
it was maybe the excite part,
Mm.
but
Mm.
we do need that. So engaging with your audience, it all comes back to your audience, you know,
Mm. And I
engaging.
actually, yeah, I think excite. I love the idea of as my. It's not. I like them all, but engage and excite, like you say, engage with your audience, and like when you're designing offers, when you're creating offer, I find that really exciting because I'm like, how can I create an experience that is so good that you're like, this is so awesome. I cannot wait to get clients going through this experience and excited about investing in my offer. That's what I'm like. If I've got an offer like that, then I will shout from the rooftops and say, come and do this. This is amazing. Yeah. So I
I
think
love that.
excitement is part of the process, and it changes kind of and I would call it an online marketing functional offer thing that everyone makes very complicated, and we go back to, you need an offer, you need people, and you need to connect those two, and if you can get people excited about your offer, that then they're going to be engaged and you're going to have an amazing offer that people want to buy off you,
Yeah.
right?
Another way to figure out, like, okay, for one, you need to be aware, like, of your emotions. And so
Mm.
I always go back to being an entrepreneur. You have to be very self-aware. It's not, I don't want to say it's not for the weak of heart, but I'm saying it
Mm.
anyway. It
Mm.
it's a it's simple, but there are so many aspects of it. And I know I've come out a changed person because of my entrepreneurial journey.
Mm.
But one of those is being aware. Okay. And
Mm. Mm.
so, what you ask yourself, if you want to look at it a little differently, is look at those offers that excite you. Okay.
Mm.
What was it about that offer that
Mm.
excited you? And see if you can incorporate that into your own offer, or, you know, make it yours, make that part
Mm.
yours. But what did you respond to? What emotions were
Mm.
you feeling in
Mm.
that when you heard that offer? Because we've all signed up for things, we've all signed up
Mm.
for programs, we've all done it. So
Yeah.
think back on when you signed up for that program. What was it
Mm.
that just got you excited? You know, take that.
And
And
it's also about I mean, there are times when I've been like running to my wallet. Where's my wallet? Get my
right?
card. I can't. Or you're like, I've got to be on that list. I've got to get one of those places. I've got to be on that. I've got to get that light. And you're ringing up the bank. Can you move that money to here so I can put my. That is the offer you want, right?
Mhm.
That's the kind of offer you want. And that excitement comes from what's in your offer, but also about, you know, what are people going to, you know, what is the result at the end of the offer, what, and engaging with what they, you know, what's going to happen at, you know, once you deliver whatever's in your offer, and what are they going to experience, and how is that going to change their lives, or how is that going to save them loads of hassle, or how is that going to make them become even better than they are already. And I think that going to your point about entrepreneurial, the entrepreneurial journey is not for the weak, faint-hearted. You said, a weak-hearted. I think that's so true. And actually, someone said to me years ago, like, being an entrepreneur is the best personal development course you could ever go on, right? And I'm like, that is so true. There's nowhere to hide. You have to face your demons. You have to face, and you have, and actually, this is why I love, I mean, I could talk about offers 24/7. I love working with people, and then I'm just like, let's make your offer awesome, because you've got so much value to give to people. And actually, I find it really exciting. And when you've got people investing in your business, and you know you can get them the results, I think, I mean, exciting isn't maybe not the professional word to use, but I kind of feel like that momentum that you get with them means that they're going to get the results, right?
Yeah.
And that's also part of it, I think, for sure.
Yeah. I agree, and it just keeps going back to the original letter, find. It's like find and align, find those people who can benefit from your offer, from your results. It is. So Charlotta says, what emotions you felt when you signed for the program. Yes, exactly. What excites you about your offer? Yes. What excites me about other people's offer? What would my client experience with my offer? Bingo. What are the results my client is going to get? Who needs my offer? Who needs these results? All right. So let's go on to day. I'm sorry. Let's see. The next letter is L, right? So we did 2 E's, engage and insight. Okay, so the next letter is L, leverage and link. And I think we're only going to be able to get through the feel part. I like the feel. I like feel good.
Yeah.
So let's feel into this.
Okay.
And doing this, we have kind of covered my other 2 questions, which are, what's your favorite part of the sales process? Where's your zone of genius? And then how can we implement this? And I know we've been giving some really solid suggestions to everybody. So the L is leverage and link. All right. Leverage your tools, leverage other people's audiences through collaborations, partnerships, and link with them. That's
I mean,
leverage and link.
yeah, I mean, I think that it's almost like the first question you ask yourself when you wake up in the morning is, where's the leverage? How can I do this more efficient, faster? I think when you start leveraging sort of your audiences and the people you work with, one-on-one makes 10 gazillion, right? It's so much. I think it's about momentum. I think it's about strategic partnerships. It's about, in an offer sense, it's about putting offers together. Even I'm always looking for other people offers where I'm like, do you know, my clients could really do with that piece. I want to put that together, and it would take me 6 months to work out how to do that, or I haven't got the time and I can just bolt that on, and that gives so much more value because I know that they're having this challenge. That's leverage, right? And leveraging I'm always thinking about how do we do this faster? How do I get this done rather than how do I do it? How do we sort of expand our reach? How do we connect with more people? How do we get them better results? And I'm always thinking about leverage. I think that's like my middle name. And it's not like, people don't start with that, do they? When you sort of set up business way back, if I could give myself advice, like I set my first business up when I was 24. If I could give myself advice, I would say, find strategic partners, find people to partner with, because that adds speed to your business, and look for leverage points. Look for leverage not only to grow, but what are it's like the 80-20 principle, isn't it? What is the 20% that's going to get me 80% of the results? And that way, again, you can iterate faster, you can find solutions faster, you can find better solutions, you can find all sorts of things. If you just tweak how you think about what you're doing every day, what you're doing this week, what you're doing this month, and looking for ways of finding leverage in your business is how you scale it up. And also, I think how you have a better lifestyle, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's about lifestyle. It's about working at a higher level in your business than doing all the implementation and all the managing. It's looking for how do you focus on the communication level, the ideas level, all of those things, so that the time you spend in the day is the most valuable for you and for your business. And that's leverage, isn't it?
Yeah. It's leverage, and there's different aspects, there's different facets of leverage. It's like there's that kind of leverage. How can I leverage my time better? How can I leverage
Mm,
other people doing this for me? How can I bring someone into my offer who
mm,
offers
mm,
something, who does something that is not my zone of genius?
mm,
And what you're doing by bringing that other person in, you're bringing their audience in as well.
mhm.
So
Yeah.
that's a huge part of it, is finding someone, finding strategic partners to come in. So I'm holding a master class, I think in about 2 weeks on October 1st. And I am bringing in Liz Wilcox. She
Mhm.
is, I don't know if you know her. I'm so excited. She is like the email marketer. If you know,
Oh, yes. Yeah,
she's
I do. Yeah.
she is fabulous. So she's going to be doing a portion of my master class. She's going to come in and teach a portion of the master class. So what I'm doing is I'm getting Liz, who's the expert on email
Mm,
marketing. She's coming in, and I'm leveraging her expertise, but I'm also
mm,
leveraging her audience as well.
mm,
Okay.
mm,
And so like on Thursday, in 2 days from now, one of my podcast guests is Ivan Meisner. All right.
mm,
He's huge. So like BNI, if you're in BNI, the world's largest networking organization, you know Ivan Meisner.
mm,
So I'm also leveraging his audience. Okay. So
mm,
Charlotte asked, like, how do you connect with more people? That's how you do it. All right. You
mm.
find other people who have
Have your people.
audiences. Yeah,
Yeah. Who have your
exactly.
people, right?
Hmm. Yeah.
And it comes back to, if you think about in marketing, what do you need? You need an offer. You need an offer of an attractive offer that people want. You need your audience, and I think, and that's where that's the leverage, that you're looking for people who you can offer them something so that they're like, yeah, this is going to be really useful for my audience as well.
Hmm.
And there's obviously some things that the CEO of the BNI wants. He's like, oh, that's going to be really interesting for the people in the network, just because you don't have what they've got. And there are there's always complementary things. You've got to think about, how do I complement that business, and what can I bring to the table that they're going to want, and vice versa. Because I think lots of people are very up for collaborating. I definitely think that's a very strong kind of marketing card that gets played in the female entrepreneur world, for sure, and the men as well. Not that we're dividing or anything like that, but there are so many different ways to put those pieces together. I think that sort of leverage in an audience way means that you're going to get to the more people faster, aren't you? I mean, it's either that, or it's paid ads, paid
Hmm.
traffic, things like that. But
Yeah.
then you need massive budgets, right? You need massive budgets, and sometimes you don't have massive budgets. You might not have the $1 billion marketing budget that some of those big corporates have, but actually you're getting access to very specific audiences by doing that collaboration. So that's a massive leverage point, 100%.
It really is. It really is. Charlotta, I agree. Laura is absolutely brilliant.
Oh, thank you,
See-
Charlotta. We could talk for hours, couldn't we? We've only just got
right?
started, but
We
yeah.
can. Yeah, and just one, just to mention again something you brought up, collaborations. All right,
Mm,
collaborate with your emails. Join a bundle. Get your
mm,
name out there. And that's on with the good part of it, of the GOOD, which
mm,
quickly I'll go over the rest of the letters, but we're not going to cover them. So G is grow and attract. All right, grow your business and continue to attract. All right, and you do that through SEO and through collaborations. You continue to
mm,
grow your audience. And then we have O, the first O, organize and implement. It's either organize and action. I like the same thing. Implement it or you just take action. All right. So you organize yourself, just like what we were talking about when you have a process. So, like for this
mm,
podcast, I have a process that I've written down. Okay. I actually have my steps written down because so I'm not reinventing the wheel each time.
or not
So I
having to
have
think. Yeah,
exactly. I'm like,
yeah.
okay, I just pull up my process. I'm like, okay, check, 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 check. All right. So that's part of the feel good sales process is actually organizing yourself, having things in a folder. Like I was going through my list and I did get a little I got a little twinge and I was like of oh my gosh, that's a lot. And I go, no, wait, I have that in my folder. Just go see, go find it. So that's what
Mm,
so anyway, okay. Um, the other O is overcome, um, overcome and create. Actually, I got those backwards. But anyway, overcome your blocks. Okay. And those could
mm,
be emotional, mental, those overcome your blocks. What I can help you with is overcoming those tech blocks.
mm.
So
Yeah,
overcome and create. Um,
yeah. And I
so
think there's a lot of,
creating.
there's a lot, I see it all the time, and I've had a lot of personal development background as well. But I actually find one of the things I find fascinating about the offers and the clients that we work with is a lot of the time, once you've kind of followed the process of creating good offers and designing, is it's then all to do with mindset and headspace. And actually that's one of the things I really like working with people, because no matter where you are in your business, whether you're starting out or whether your next offer is like a 7-figure offer or wherever you are, there is a step up and therefore there are blocks. So
Yes.
it's a really interesting, and it's why it's great to hire people in to give you that nudge that perhaps you wouldn't take that step up all the time without them on your sidelines. And I always talk about, being a wingman. You're
Yeah.
there to keep keep that momentum and keep people going for their dreams and whatever they want to do in their business. And actually, I see it in myself. I see it in my clients. Offer development is a kind of direct relation to value and headspace and mindset and how much value you feel you can bring to the table. So I think blocks, and they show themselves in funny ways, don't they? They can be like really sly and really sneaky, and sometimes you don't realize they're a block, and then until you solve them and you're like, oh, that's what's been holding me back.
Right. That's what's been holding me back. My first podcast guest was Kelly, Kelly
Mm.
McCooey. So, if y'all get a
Mm.
chance, go back and watch that one because she talks about emotions and clearing those blocks. And also Trisha Dika is
Mm.
amazing. So
Mm.
y'all go back and watch those episodes because we talk about clearing your blocks,
Mm.
manifesting, aligning, and they are definitely uh, professionals. They know what they're doing in that realm, and it's again bringing around leveraging your connections. Okay, so those two ladies, and then I have um, uh, okay, the last one, delight, deepen, and delight, which I say
Mhm.
all of my guests are those two letters. Okay, especially delight.
Mm.
I love my guests. But anyway,
Mhm.
everyone is the D&D. Um uh deepen meaning deepen your connections with your clients, with your
Mm.
collaborators, with your partners, deepen your connections with people because that's what it's all about.
Mhm.
We
Yeah.
can't forget that we're all people and we're all humans.
Yeah.
So, and then delight. I just like to be happy. I
Mm.
just,
Mm.
and following a process, having a process will set your mind more at ease so you can't
Mm.
delight. Anyway.
Mm. Mm. I think it's a nice way to finish actually, because again, it's like I always think of it in like how do you get that into your offer? How do you
Mhm.
delight people? You know, yes, there's a functional side to offers and what people are buying from you, but that it's a nice way to think, how can I deepen the relationship? How else can I serve them? What else do they need? How can I delight? There's nothing like when somebody comes back to you and I don't know, someone who I've spent a lifetime with different having different investing in offers and using suppliers and all sorts of different contexts. And really good relationships is the core to that. And I think if you're thinking like, how can I delight my clients today so that they're more engaged with what we're doing, so that they might want to invest in more offers that we've got, you're going to get some really cool answers to that thought process, aren't you?
Yes.
So it's a nice I always think there are your brain, you get out of your brain what you put in, so ask it some good questions,
I
right?
love that. That's really good advice. I
Yeah.
I love that because you really do. And I kind of had that a little bit of a thought last night. As and pay attention to what you're putting into your brain. Like
Mm,
what your thoughts are that you're
mm,
repeating. It's being aware, and it's
mm.
being aware of the questions that you're asking. So that's
Yeah.
excellent. I love that, Laura. I love that. Hey, Josh. Um, uh, so yes, I love this. Has been super amazing, super informative with Laura Chattington. Like I said, all the way from London, England. I want to go traveling, man. I want to come see you, Laura.
Come
Um,
over. Come over. Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
And okay, so I thank you so much. Is there how do we get in touch with you? First off, how do we get in touch with you? And is there anything you have special going on? What do you want to tell us about?
So I always say the best way to connect is come to join our group, which is actually, if you just go to www.offeraccelerator.live, it will take you to our group. And in that group, there are lots of people in there who you can collaborate with. We do lots of things on offers. We run masterclass. We do lots of things, but I like to build the relationship, and having that group is an opportunity for everyone to engage with each other and find out all about their businesses and their offers and things like that. So come and check me out there. Go to offeraccelerator.live and that will take you to the group. And yeah, I'd love to hear. I'm like an offer obsessive business, so I'm going to
I
come and
love
tell
it.
me all about what's going on. Yeah.
And you
Yeah.
also do lives once or twice a week. You
Yes.
do lives. You have
Yeah.
lives.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you
Yeah.
actually had Kelly on, was that last week?
Friday, actually.
Friday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
actually I know that we have like schedules where we have, grown up schedules and people scheduled in to do podcasts and lives and things like that in, but I also quite like just to do them. I find it's a really good way to get to know people. So when I meet people, I'll be like, hey, come and do a live, because I feel like people are quite honest when they've got a live going on, and it's a nice way to build relationships. So we have a schedule, and then I just like to do them anyway. So
I love
because
that.
yeah,
That's a great way to
video is the
connect.
best way. Yeah, exactly,
Yeah.
exactly,
It's
exactly.
a fantastic way to connect. Okay, so so we'll put that in the show notes. I'll definitely have that, and then I'll also have it in the comments. Offeraccelerator.live. All right, and then thank you so much. You've been so gracious. Now I want to talk for just a second on who's coming up on the podcast. So as I said, on Thursday, let me pull up my calendar. On Thursday, this Thursday, the 19th at 11:30, I will have Dr. Ivan Meisner, who is the founder of BNI, the largest networking uh, uh, networking group in the world. It's huge. And then coming up um, on next Tuesday at 10 o'clock, I'm going to have Amanda Krill, and she is the owner of She Owns. All right. So we're going to be talking about websites and all kind of fun things like that. We're definitely going to talk about the establish and build. And then on Friday, I have something that I have a guest is so unusual. I'm so excited.
Ooh.
Her name is Allison Wonder. Okay. First, that name. How fabulous. All right. She's a TEDx coach, a speaker and a TEDx coach, but she's going to bring her friend Cecil, who's a puppet. So
Ooh.
I know. So I'm going to have a puppet on the show. Cecil's going to come on the show, and he's going to
Oh,
debate
nice.
us about traditional sales versus a feel good sales. All right. So
Looking
that
forward
is
to that.
something. Yes, I know. I'm so excited about that episode. So that is Friday the 27th at let's see, Friday the 27th at 11:30, Allison Wonder and Cecil. And
Cecil.
then yep, and Cecil. And then on the 4th, I just signed, she just agreed yesterday. She just signed up yesterday, is Chantal Schnur. Okay. And she is a Pinterest expert. So if you're
Okay.
talking about expanding your platforms,
Yeah.
if y'all
It's a
want to know
Pinterest.
about Pinterest, I'm super excited about Chantal. She's going to come on and she's going to talk to us. And that's again that establishing and build. And one other thing that I want to just mention is my offer, my master class. I have a 2-hour master class. I'm super excited. As I said, uh, I'll be joined by Liz Wilcox. All right. She is the email marketer. All right. So on October the 1st from 11 to 1 Central Standard Time, Texas time, I'm hosting a 2-hour free 2-hour masterclass called Get Found, Make Money. All right. Get found and make money. Build a sales process that feels good and actually works. So in the session, right, we're going to explore the first steps. We're going to explore the feel good sales process. And then I'm going to help you. We're going to walk away from that workshop knowing who you're selling to and actually what you're selling. All right. So we're really going to cover that first step in detail. And then Liz is going to come on and she is going to share her 3-step approach to turning your new leads, all those new leads from those customers you're going to get, into a simple welcome sequence. All right. It's going to be 2 hours packed with practical strategies that you can implement right away. So if you're tired of spinning your wheels. Get ready for a very straightforward approach, because that's what I do and that's what Liz does. So join us for this free masterclass. I'm going to drop the link in the show notes and also in the comments. So I'm super excited about that. Very practical is what I do. We're going to get you set up. And that is it. I always close the podcast by saying, when your sales feel good, you make more. And when you make more sales, you make more money. So that's how it goes.
100%. Okay.
Yes, thank you so much, Laura. And I'm just gonna drop off. We're gonna close out our lives just like we did a minute ago. But I thank you so much. It's been such a fun conversation, Laura. And if you'll stick around, I'm gonna close everybody out. So thank y'all for showing up. I appreciate it, and we'll see y'all. I'll see y'all on Thursday. All right.
Alrighty.
So I'm going to close everything out here.